Just want to give the system some time to catch up. See if I can find myself. Maybe not. If you see me, come on in. There I am. All right. Hello again. I am Shantae with Completely Crafty by Shantae. Just want to welcome you to my page. I am flying solo tonight. My girlfriend is under the weather, and my husband is watching some of his players. They have a game this evening. So he is out watching basketball. So I am all alone. Well, my dog's upstairs, but I'm sure he's asleep. So it's just me. So I thought I would just make one more patriotic wreath before I start working on. Hey, Vanita from Arizona. Welcome. Before I start working on my fall and Halloween wreaths, I thought I would do one more patriotic. So I have these little Americana styled attachments, and I thought I would add those to it. Hey, Nina. So I have this the flag in a heart, and then I have one that says USA. So we're going to go a little neutral with today's project. So I'm using a 13-inch base, and it has 16 ties. And so I'm not going to use my go-to. I'm just going to do some curl ruffles for this one. So I'm just opening up the ties so it makes it easy for me. How are you this evening? All right, so I believe I cut these at like 25 inches maybe. So I'm just going to fold that edge just so that and I'm going to tuck that in there. My day was busy. It was busy, but it was all good. Coming back from my trip, I'm playing catch up, but then one of my coworkers was out today, and his department was being audited. So I had to fill in for him. But it was actually an easy audit, so all went well. So the day, and then I had tonight meeting after meeting after meeting. That's always the case. How about you? How's work? So I'm just making the curls, and then I'm just butting them up together so that I can fill in the gaps. Happy birthday! 65, awesome. I have a friend that I met, my husband and I met them on our honeymoon when we went to Italy, and they live in Arizona. And we've been trying to get out there because they adopted a little girl who's 1. And I said, I would like for us to go visit her before she graduates high school. So we'll have to figure out a time when we can go out and visit. We probably should go in the winter time, so it's not scorching. Hey Nancy. Before I got on, I was looking up trying to reserve my U-Haul for November, because I reserved the U-Haul for this past week's trip, and I had to go way out of my way for it, and it had all kinds of issues, but you know. I am in Charlestown, West Virginia. I'm originally from Philadelphia, but we live in Charlestown, West Virginia. We're like an hour away from Baltimore. We're an hour away from DC. We're not far from Virginia. So we're close to all the major cities. Nina, mine was too. My meetings were in the afternoon, but I was trying to get so much done because I knew I had those meetings. So the morning was busy. We had to pull the files for the audit, but it all worked out. My event was in Hampton, Virginia, which was, you know, I teased my husband. I was like, it doesn't make sense for us to drive 3.5 hours and still be in Virginia. I would think, you know, because we could be in New York in 3 hours. I can go home to Philadelphia in 3 hours, but for us to be in Virginia, that state is so big. But we had a nice time. The vendors came from all over. I met people from Florida, from Tennessee, from Alabama. So there were many people that weren't from the state that came in for this big show. It wasn't as big as we had hoped. I mean, we did get some people in. It's just I think the economy has people a little gun shy, so they're not buying as much, but we did well. But I would have liked to have done a little bit better. But now I'll be preparing for the next one. So we are almost done the bottom. Oh, okay, New York. All right. My husband is from Connecticut. And he always talks about, you know, hopping on the train and going over to New York. I must say, although New York is close to us, I really only ever went to New York when our church would go there for a play or something on Broadway. And then, you know, a few years back, my son and my husband, we went to Madison Square Garden for East Harlem. Okay. We went there for the Jimmy B Classics for basketball. So initially I said I was going to do some ruffles, but some curls, but hold on. My mesh got hooked onto my bracelet. But I decided to do the ruffles instead. So my husband, I'll work on first cleaning out my craft room and taking all the spring and summer and putting that away, and then pulling out the fall and the Halloween and Christmas. Because I'm thinking about doing maybe the 12 days of Christmas in July. I am still trying. It's still up for debate right now if I can do 12 straight lives or not. We'll see. It will be a challenge if I do. All right, so we're finished the base. And I think I miscounted, so I think I'm going to have to cut one more for the top. But I'll see. Just open it up a little bit. I think I needed 7, but I think I only cut 6 for the top. We are prepping for yes, I am looking into doing some minis. Vanita, my goal is once a week, I always clean my craft room because I can't function when it's all junky. But because I had this big event, I was so busy making wreaths, I didn't have time to clean. And so it needs a good cleaning and some organization, and then I'll be fine. And then I can go back to my once a week. I have all these projects in my head that I want to do, so I'm going to try to get as many done because I have, in the month of November, I have 3 shows back to back. Do you do any craft shows or farmers markets or anything like that to sell your wreaths, or do you do it just as just for fun? Oh, okay. I just started last year, and at this point we're just looking to figure out what venues work for us. So I am doing two that I've done last year that we did really well in, so we decided to do it again. And then I have 4 new ones that I've not been. Oh, okay. I started off just as giving. I made them for our house, and then I made them as gifts. And then my husband and my son talked me into starting a business, and so here we are. Yep. I think I have to cut one more short one. Vanita, so did you do anything special for your birthday? Thank you. I take all those blessings. All right. Oh, you're in San Diego. My best friend lives in San Diego. It's beautiful there. The weather's nice. Although, I did go visit him, I feel like it was in August a couple of years ago, and they had just had a heat storm. I mean, that's not what it's called. A heat something. Heat wave. It was a heat wave. But of course, the weekend that I go, it's freezing. I had to go to Walmart to get a sweater. It was so cold. I was like, what is going on? All right, so Nina, did I miss your birthday too? I know sometimes Vanita, I get a brain fart. All right, so I need to cut one more section. So I'm doing 25. The first time I went there to visit him, I stayed in La Jolla. Oh my goodness, the beaches were beautiful. And then I can't remember where we stayed the second time, but it was by the water, and the wind, I just thought, okay, I said, I left thinking I was going to have nice weather. It was freezing. Okay, so we have a nice full base using the ruffles. Here we have that. Nina is in Philadelphia. All right, so this is the ribbon I chose because I was trying to do a more more Americana feel to it, so that it wasn't really bold. So I have this blue, khaki, and red striped, and then I paired it up with these stars to match the stars in the sign. And I will decide whether or not I'm going to have them crisscross or do I make my little V. I will see. I think I'm just going to do my little V. We probably won't get like a true vacation this year, but I'm hoping that my husband and I can plan something for next year. I'm trying to remember. We take turns on who plans our anniversary. So I'm trying to remember whose turn it is. I think it's his turn because I think I made the decision. I took us out last year. So he'll have to come up with the plans for this year. Thank you, ma'am. Again, I try to, some people like the bold colors, but some people like a neutral palette, so I try to make something that will appeal to everyone. Hopefully, this week coming, I can work on trying to figure out how to work my sublimation machine. Well, not necessarily machine, but get my printer set up and figure out how to use the software that I have so that I can start making my own signs for my wreaths. And I want to go through, I have all of these partially used 10-inch and 21-inch mesh. Try to figure out a way for me to use some of those up so that I can make room, because I'm hoping to be able to go to Sims Pottery hopefully in maybe August, if not sooner, so that I can replenish my stash. Let's see. Oh no. Okay, well then I don't feel bad. I have 3 of the Cricuts, but I do use mine. I just don't use them as much as I used to. But my husband bought me a sewing machine. It's probably been 3 years now. Might be 4. Don't get me lying. because I wanted to learn how to sew. But then COVID hit and I wasn't able to go to Joann's. Oh, thank you, Nina. I was wanting to go to Joann's so that I can get hands-on training, but I couldn't do it. So every time he comes in my craft room, he gives me the side eye trying to figure out why I haven't used my sewing machine yet. So I have gone online. I YouTubed it. I went to University of YouTube and saw a couple of things. The first thing I want to make are like trash bag holders. One for the pantry, one for the garage, and one for my craft room. So that's going to be my first project. So I am going to try to get that done before the year so he can stop talking about me. Nina, I guess I never paid attention when I was in the stores, but when I look at some of them, I'm like, there's nothing to it. Oh, Lord, Vanita. My thing is I just don't have time, but I need to make time. I definitely want to make time to, because I do these no-sew pillowcases, but one day I would like to, maybe, actually sell some of them. But I would like a finished edge, so that it looks better than me, gluing it. My mom could sew too. My cousin, oh my goodness, my Aunt Tiny in Georgia, Lord have mercy. She was a seamstress. We could go to a store and say, we want that outfit. She'd come home, no pattern, and make us that outfit. I can't sew a hem by hand though. And I can sew a button on. But that's the extent of my sewing. So I definitely want to get that done so that my husband can stop talking about me. All right, this is coming along. I just need one more for the bottom. My goal for myself has been, since I started making wreaths, to be able to make a bow by hand. I use the bow maker right now. Can you do them by hand, or do you use the bow maker too, or the easy bow maker? Nina, you know my husband well. He was telling someone over the weekend that I've taken over his man cave. And I was like, it was just for a couple of days. I had my things all out, but I felt like I confined it to one area so he really didn't have to look at it. Hey, Donna. Oh, the bow dab. Okay, I started with that. But then I moved to the easy bow maker. I used to watch this mother and daughter duo. Oh, I can't remember the name of their business. And they always use the Bodabra too. So that was the first purchase I made, or at least one of the first purchases I made. So I did a V on the bottom, but I'm doing the X at the top, just to give the wreath some more coverage. I bought two of the, I just bought a second one so that I can take to craft shows to like make bows. But this weekend, like I was just exhausted. It was such a long day. We were there, the event started at 10 and it wasn't over till 7, and we normally got there like at 9. So it was just such a long day that whew, it took all I had, you know, to smile. But it was good. All right. I'm still debating. I'm looking at if I'm going to bring in some different ribbon just for the bow, just to give it a little kick. I'll see. I think I have 3 more to do at the top. I don't often use this technique, but I'm liking it. It makes a full wreath, so I like that. I hate to see the frames. And Nina was talking about the wreaths in the store. I just hate that, like, there's nothing to them, and they want, you know, so much money, excuse me, for them, and it's nothing to them. I am working on Americana style wreath, and I'm using these 2 mini attachments. One has USA with the flag, and one has a heart. And we're almost done putting the tails on. I think I'm going to attach right, I know. I feel the same way. And when I'm at my at the show, you know, I get asked all the time, did you make these? I'm like, yes, like, you know, everything is handmade. So I want them to keep that in mind. You know, it's not a machine or a manufacturer, you know, making them and selling them. I am doing them myself. So I make sure that I say that often. They're all handmade. And even if I make 2 that are same, you know, they're still a little different because I've done something, you know, I did 2 swags, but I put the heart on a different side so that they weren't exactly the same. All right. So we are finished our base. And now I'm going to add I'm going to put my USA, I'm going to put my USA on one side, and I'll put the heart on the other. Let's see if I can get it in there. trying to see whether or not, nope, I'm not feeling that. So I'm going to take, I was debating whether or not I only needed one tag, and I think I do. So I'm going to take this off so that it's easier to place. Gotta use my muscles. Make sure I'm not breaking my stars. So give me just a second, folks. Sorry. Alright. Alright, so now I'm just going to add one tie because it's just lopsided when I did the two. Oh, thank you. I've been looking for another one like it, but I don't remember where I bought this one from. So I got the first one, so now I'm going to have to do the second, same thing to this one. Take it apart. I knew that when I did it that I would probably only need one, but I was trying to be on the safe side. So now I'm just going to put this one, staple it in the middle. I apologize for the staple gun. Alright, just going to add this to the top. I'm going to try it. I should have put an apron on because it's snagging my blouse. Straighten it out just a little bit. Alright, so I've added my two signs. So now I'm going to add my bow, and I probably will add it down here in this space at the bottom. looks like a 12-inch tail. And I'm going to do 6-inch loops. Go ahead and cut the tails on the top. You definitely do. Ooh, what happened? Am I still live? Yes. You definitely do. You definitely have a problem. You definitely have a problem. But I appreciate your support. But you don't have that many doors, so I don't know what you're doing. But I like that you spread it around. You're giving them as gifts. I'm gonna add this one with the multiple stars and see how that looks. Just to give it a little bit more contrast so that it's not all monochromatic. I have a storage problem too, so I understand your pain. But if you have a closet, you can put them in there and on a hanger. And I'm thinking I'm going to add this one that has the hearts. I think I'm just going to add, I'll just let that be my center. But of course, oh, I guess it doesn't matter. The hearts are still going to be upside down. I have to figure out a way to make the hearts right. I don't know about that. I don't like, nope. I don't like the hearts upside down. So I'm going to use these stars. I can relate. Because I just bought 2 more clothes racks. In April in preparation for the show, because I wanted to have the wreaths out so I could see what I was taking. So I specifically bought new racks just for that and emptied a couple of the other seasons. All right, so I am finished with that, with my just fixing my tails a little bit. And I'll do some more straightening once I get it on. All right, so now I'm just going to fluff up my bow. All right, so now I'm just going to cut some of these tails. And our project will be done. For some reason, my this mesh is like wanting to attach to everything. I don't normally have that problem. Okay. All right. I'm almost done, guys. I'm just having some issues fluffing. All right. I think my bow is straight. Let's see. So it has some tails. Hey, Brenda. It's quite a bit of delay, so I will fluff it up a little bit more. And I think I'm going to cut this tail a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit too long. All right, now I think I'm done. So here you have it. Thank you. All right, so just to recap, I used a 13-inch pre-made work form. I used 10-inch mesh and I cut them at 25 inches. However, I had to use some from another roll because it was too many cuts. I cut my tails at 12 inches and then I added, hey Rachel. Oh, long day. I added just these two small attachments And then I just added the bow for just a simple, understated Americana patriotic wreath. Good night, Donna. Good night, Nina. Vanita, if you're still on, I hope you have a good birthday and enjoy your time in San Diego. And thanks so much for hanging out with me on your birthday. I appreciate that. All right. You guys have a good night. And I will see you next week on Wednesday at 7 p.m.